What's up, y'all? It's Jay Thunder.
And AJ Radix.
And we are the PWX AWA Tag Team Champions, Extreme Thunder. And you're listening to the Smack Raw Podcast, baby.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the SmackDown podcast. Ah, dang, already botched it. A wrestling recap show where we cover WWE, AEW, NXT recaps, reviews, pay-per-view predictions. What's seeming to be becoming the norm. It's myself and Vince hosting SmackDown. News, though, Vince, Sebastian has gotten up with me. He should be making his return next week. The SmackDown... the go home show for the go home for WrestleMania. There we go.
He picked a big SmackDown to return. I think he planned it.
I think it was man. He had he got this stuff all planned out. Oh man, how you doing, man?
I've been good, man. I mean, just trying to keep up with everything, you know. Nothing too much, man. Just trying to keep myself entertained, keep myself occupied a bit.
I think that's all of us. Not gonna lie to you, man. I think all of us are trying to keep ourselves entertained while we're locked up. Yeah, it is. It looks like here in North Carolina, we got about 2.5 more weeks with this because they just issued a full state lockdown. But I mean,
oh shit,
I'm over it, man. Now I'm just trying to enjoy my family. So hopefully you guys are making light of the current situation. But if this is your first time joining the show, we are a wrestling recap podcast. You can find us on various platforms like Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. We stream live every week. You can find us on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Maybe hit the notify bell. I don't know. So you can see every time we go live. You can also see us on like Periscope and Twitter, and we're on a couple Twitch gaming channels as well. Facebook, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Various places. Pretty much, we're just trying to be like the coronavirus and just spread everywhere. Like we're on everything. That's what we're trying to do. It's a terrible.
Hey man,
joke.
You gotta crack jokes, man. You gotta make light. Hey man, you gotta try to make some light out of situations, man. You gotta do something.
Yeah, Jesus, I feel bad for that one. I'll repent tonight.
No.
Oh man.
Oh man. Wait. Hold up, Kyle. You said you're in North Carolina, but it doesn't look like you're home. What's going on there, man?
Well, I'm at my new job in Stamford, Connecticut. Yeah. The coronavirus got me too, man. It's better than the other place that I applied for, though.
Really?
Early in the day. Yeah, I got a picture of it right here. Oh, God. No.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Wait. Hold up. What kind of job were you
applying for? I walked out. They asked how long I could hold my breath for, and I was out. Okay, look, man.
Oh, okay. So you just waited till it got weird, and then you hopped off.
It got real weird. If you guys aren't watching the video stream, man, I playing around with my green screen over here in the office. If you can't see it, I'm in the office right now, and I'll let y'all come over to YouTube to see where the other job interview was at.
For sure. Things you miss out by not watching the live stream version.
Told you. Oh, this shit is stupid.
Man.
Yeah, we're here to talk SmackDown.
Overall, though, man.
Yeah, SmackDown. What'd you think?
Overall, I thought it was some of the good stuff was good, and then some of the bad stuff was really, really bad. I mean, again, like I don't think SmackDown did the right thing with the whole like recap of a replay of a previous WrestleMania. Just because they didn't pick the really good one and then lead into like storyline, I felt like it was just like, hey.
Oh, they lost me. They lost me when I saw the match. They were replaying. I was like, dude, of all WrestleMania matches you could pick. Oh, shit. But of all WrestleMania matches you could pick, why Triple H and Roman Reigns? It was like, is it just me? I mean, you're with me, right, Vince? Where this match sucked.
No,
this match sucked, man, right?
It wasn't the best Roman match. I get what you're trying to do with the whole thing, but why not play a WrestleMania 31 Brock versus Roman and then have Seth cash in? That was a great match, and I get they were trying to do, like, hey, Roman Reigns is a really good wrestler. Look, here's a match to prove it. But the issue there is that, for one, they're going to have the replay of this exact same WrestleMania this Sunday on ESPN, so you could just watch it there. So why watch it twice? And two, it wasn't a very good match. Nah. That's not a shot at Roman, man. It's just it wasn't a very good match. I like Roman. I think he can put on good matches. That just wasn't it.
Yeah, some guys just don't have the chemistry, and the chemistry wasn't there that night for him, but...
Nah, man. Man.
It's all right. I mean, I will say this. I will say SmackDown. I mean, they knew that these shows need to have at least one decent wrestling match on them, so they threw in the New Day and the Usos,
which they always have good matches.
The main event, and then of course, like who I've been behind forever, Mr. Drew Gulak taking on Shinsuke. And if Drew Gulak wins, then Daniel Bryan gets to face Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I think we've overlooked. We're gonna get a Sami Zayn singles match against Daniel. I mean, spoiler: he wins against Daniel Bryan. I think that's been so overlooked with everything that's going on. I think we've been kind of blinded.
It's being swept under the rug. It's going like very unnoticed. And I swear, when they have that match, it's probably going to be a great match. It might be the best match of this whole Mania weekend or whatever day they're on.
Man, I am looking forward to that one. I honestly, I'm kind of just realizing it on air right now. But I'm seriously looking forward to that one.
Hey, yeah. I am too. But we kicked off with Bayley and Sasha. They opened up SmackDown.
Oh,
I thought it was.
I'll say, hold on, really quick. I don't mean to cut you off, and we'll get into the show. Before we do, let me get the final plug out of the way. Is that we are streaming live to multiple platforms, but we are using the Restream chat tool. Whereas if you are watching any of the live streams, you can just start typing away and interact with us. We'll make sure to answer any questions you have about the show. We'll give you a shout out on the air. So we highly encourage you, man, be active in the chat, no matter what streaming service you're using, and we'll literally put you on the show. So yeah, go ahead and hit us up. But with that being said, yeah, Vince, go ahead into the opening segment because I actually missed the first couple minutes.
So it was Sasha came out, Bayley came out. They both came into the ring. One thing of note that I noticed from Bayley, she got a brand new haircut, so it was way shorter. The hair was shorter, and they were basically cutting the promo, like mocking the idea of WrestleMania, where dreams happen, where big moments happen, where like this fairy tale ending happens, but that's not going to happen at WrestleMania this year. And Bayley even went on to say that WrestleMania this year is a nightmare for them because they're faced off against each other. They have to be in this match. Bayley's like, oh, I shouldn't even have to defend my title. Why do I have to defend my title in a fatal 5-way match? And Bayley's been very good at being that like that whiny heel that's complaining about things. I feel like she's hit her like zone in terms of being a heel. It's reminiscent of when Seth was heel back when he was part of the Authority. He's just like complaining and whining about everything, and I loved it. It was pretty solid stuff. It doesn't resonate too well without the crowd being there. It still feels jarring without any kind of reaction other than like the superstars reacting to themselves. Lacey comes out at one point, interrupts them. Naomi comes out, interrupts them. Basically, they're both saying the same things, that, oh, we're going to win at WrestleMania. We're going to get the title. They're basically just like shooting their shot, saying like, hey, this is why I'm going to win at WrestleMania. You guys aren't going to win. Tamina makes the final. Before Tamina came out, Bayley was actually saying like, no, this isn't going to turn into one of those things where everybody interrupts the other person. They come and play their music, and then we sit here and have to go through promo after promo. And sure enough, right after that, Tamina's music hit. She came down to the ring, and I loved it because Bayley just sold this whole like segment. It was just very, very well. And Tamina comes out. She gets on the mic. It's like actions speak louder than words. She takes out Naomi. She takes out Lacey Evans.
Hey, I will say, she headbutted the shit out of Naomi. And if there's one golden rule with Samoans is you don't headbutt a Samoan. So I wonder what that means if you're getting headbutted by one. Like that should be every Samoan should have. Yeah, it's
that's what that means. That means it's on.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so from there, Sasha and Bailey, they try to capitalize on that. They both jump at Naomi, gang up on her in the corner. Lacey Evans is still down on the other side of the ring. Tamina's just spectating and watching this whole thing go down. And as they like stand up and they're like reveling in what they just did and beating up Naomi, they do the standard like bad guy running into like the opposition from behind. It's like, oh, like the whole cartoon thing where there's like, oh shit, she's behind us.
They're right behind me, aren't they? Like,
yeah, they did the whole thing, and then they scurry off. Bailey did one whole thing where she's like, oh, I'll see you in Mania, and then she forgot her title. She had to sneak back in to get her title. And like,
damn.
I'm telling you, man.
Did they address Dana Brooke?
No, they just said it was going to be a fatal 5-way match. As far as I'm concerned,
they couldn't even like bring make something out of it. My girl Dana, man, don't sleep on Dana. Like, damn, man.
Shit, it looks like they are sleeping on Dana, man. They weren't giving her any kind of rub. They just said, oh yeah, it wasn't a 6-pack challenge. It's going to be a fatal 5-way.
Yeah, no, Batista needs to go fucking save her and bring just carry her ass to WrestleMania.
Right.
Even though it's technically probably it's in the books because I think it's already been shot.
Yeah, I think it's already been shot if I'm not mistaken. The good thing about this whole segment is that it made Tamina look strong, made her feel like someone that they're gonna have. She's gonna play the role in that match of like the one individual everyone's gonna have to team up to take out, and that's her role. She's gonna be that big obstacle to get through for like Bailey and Sasha and everybody else in that match. I liked it. It helped build up Tamina, given that she hasn't been on TV for like 3 years or so. So I was for it.
Yeah.
It was good. After that is when we had your boy Drew Gulak versus Shinsuke Nakamura, where the winner, like you spoiled the winner. Drew Gulak won with a fantastic roll up. It was
Daniel Bryan saved his ass.
Yeah, because Nakamura was going for the Kinshasa. Daniel pulls him out of the way, and Sami Zayn the entire time is just complaining because he's on commentary. He's complaining about, hey, he pulled him out of the way. That should be illegal, even though like minutes prior, Cesaro pulled Nakamura out of the ring so he wouldn't get attacked by Gulak. So
classic stuff.
I liked it, man.
I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
So Daniel Bryan goes on to face Sami Zayn, WrestleMania. Say Daniel Bryan wins, he gets the Intercontinental Championship.
Which he will.
Yeah. What if all of this leads to Daniel Bryan dropping the Intercontinental belt to Drew Gulak?
That's a tough sell.
Man, I know it is. I might be fantasy booking it here, but yeah, you take Daniel Bryan, right? He goes to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. He overcomes the odds, beats Sami Zayn. Sorry, Sami Zayn, your faction has no faith behind it. It flops. Whatever. You lose the belt. Bang. You guys go back to jobbing. Unfortunately, then Daniel Bryan and Gulak do their comedy shtick for 2 months. Right, they do it for 2 months. They're playing off all this other shit. Did you realize the whole balls thing? Apparently, like from the Twitter shit, apparently that was like because Daniel Bryan's balls came out in a match. Yeah, like previous to that night, and so they were making light of the fact. I didn't look it up, but apparently, unless I misread this or misheard it. I heard it was playing off the fact that Daniel Bryan's balls came out during a match. And so,
oh, man.
Yeah. But then after like 2 months or so, Drew Gulak turns on Bryan. He's taken the time, being his friend, getting even closer, getting even able like to scout more, and then he finally overcomes Daniel Bryan and beats him.
I like where you're going with it. I feel like that's going to be the direction they go here is that, and they've mentioned this on Going in Raw, the guys have mentioned this before, Drew Gulak helps improve Daniel Bryan's game to the point where he goes and gets the IC title because of the stuff that Drew Gulak taught Daniel. And in turn, Drew Gulak can be like, hey, man, I should get a run. I should get an opportunity for that title. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have had that title. And now he can even lay claim to that even more. Not only have I been teaching you flaws in your game, but if it wasn't for me, beating Nakamura, you would have never had that title opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be like they could do that, and then I don't think Drew Gulak's ever getting the title, but I think it's going to be like, oh, it's going to be an honorable like fair like match between the two, he's gonna lose. Still stay by Daniel Bryan's side, and then later down the line, 2 months, like you were saying, he turns his back on him, to a la MJF and Cody Rhodes, and we have a heel Drew Gulak now under like learning more about Daniel Bryan, knows more of his weaknesses even more, gets to know what's inside his head, not just his in-ring technician stuff. He knows what makes him tick up here and emotionally, and maybe then he tries to use that to his advantage down the line at a future pay-per-view.
Okay, I can see that. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I don't want any tension behind them, like between them right away. I think the comedy stuff working together is going to produce gold.
I want it to be like a slow building thing, kind of like when Eddie and Ray were first like, oh, let's see who's the better man, and then Eddie just couldn't be Rey Mysterio, and then just turned into like Psycho Eddie Guerrero. That's something similar like that. I don't want Drew Gulak to go psycho on us, but similar to that, slowly build that up.
As long as you build his intensity, like drop the comedy, not comedy hill. Bring that intensity, man, because Gulak's the fucking man.
Basically, like the cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak when he was having that run. Yeah, he has to be killer Drew Gulak.
If you do Drew right, man, he could be a big guy. I'm not gonna go too crazy right away and say like he's gonna be world championship material, but I think I could see him being built into those arguments though. I mean we're a ways away, but I wholeheartedly I see something in Drew Gulak that I hope other people see, because Gulak is
who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Regal. I don't know about you, but he reminds me of Regal. Someone that when he was really, really hot, you could put the title on him for like a short period of time and run with him, see what you had with William Regal. But I feel like William Regal, just because of the era he was in, just didn't get that opportunity. Dude, he was a former IC champ.
He was surrounded by killers. Man. Fucking in the 90s, bro. You talk, because that's prime Rock, Austin, Triple H, Undertaker, Mankind, and then I'm sorry, it's William Regal's kind of like Ric Flair, where like when you're a kid, they're super cheesy and you don't get it. But then when you grow up, you're like, dude, they were the fucking men. Like those guys were the shit, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like Regal actually holds us to this day. What I consider my favorite promo of all time is done by Regal.
Really?
He cut it on Raw. It was he cut it on Triple H. Who had just
when
attacked.
He was defending Eugene, right?
Eugene, yeah.
Man.
Dude, that shit, I've seen that shit like 200 times, and it still sends chills down me. Like, I have it saved on my YouTube and everything. I go back and watch it probably like once every couple weeks. It's like 2 minutes, man. It's 2 minutes, but it'll get the blood flowing.
Yeah, man. Dude, a good promo regardless of time. It just depends on what you're saying in the promo. It's all about that. It's not necessarily how long the promo is. It could be like a 2-minute promo and it could be the best thing ever. But yeah, that was the segment. Drew Gulak wins. We have Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania next week, or was taped yesterday, whichever way you want to think about it. And like you were saying, I think that's something that everybody's sleeping on. We're getting a singles match from Sami Zayn. When was the last time you saw a Sami Zayn singles match?
With Daniel Bryan, of all people.
With Daniel Bryan. This is a dream match. When Daniel Bryan returned from his injury, that was one of the dream matches everybody wanted to see, was Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, because they drew parallels with one another when NXT Sami Zayn and the Yes Movement Daniel Bryan. There were so many parallels between the two guys.
Heart and soul, baby. Yeah, man. Oh, it's going to be dope. It's going to be so dope, man.
Speaking of Heart and Soul, the Heart and Soul of SmackDown, I would say, is Otis. And they showed us the replay of what happened last week. And, man, it still breaks my heart, man. Dude. Like, you could hear Otis's heart break.
It's like that the Simpsons meme, man, when they show...
when Rolf,
gets rejected by Lisa on TV. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that was Otis right there.
And then Bart's just TiVoing the whole thing. He's like, and see, you can even spot where his heart broke. He's like going frame by frame. Yeah, that's what happened. And after that, like, they cut backstage. Dolph is FaceTiming someone. I would assume either Sonya Deville. Like, I was thinking Mandy Rose, but given what we saw later on in the show, like I'm thinking it was Sonya Deville FaceTiming him. At this point, before Otis comes in, because he does confront Dolph, the status glitch again shows up on the screen. And I don't know if this is something that you've noticed, but I've noticed this at least the last couple of segments, at least the last 2, 3, or 4. They always happen during Dolph Ziggler segments.
Really?
So I remember one time I think Dolph was like in like Gorilla, and they had like the TV in the background, and the static was happening on the TV in the background while Dolph was right there. Like they're like the last couple ones they've happened during a Dolph Ziggler segment, or like during like.
Well,
yeah,
I haven't noticed that. No,
I have to go back like this. Like I noticed this today, and maybe it's just me just like thinking stuff, like just putting stuff in my head, and it's really not really there. But but me personally, I feel like there's something there, and this might be Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali is probably Mustafa, and it's probably going to lead to a Dolph Mustafa feud going forward. I don't want that for Mustafa because Ziggler's usually like the anti what's the word?
He makes you look good in the ring, but he does nothing for your like build or height.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah,
he doesn't help you.
So this is, I guess we'll address this now. We're going to have some audio issues with everybody sitting at home. Bandwidth is just jacked up. So we're probably going to lose Vince here for a second, guys. Appreciate it. I think, Vince, is that you? Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay, you're good, Ben. Go ahead with what you were saying about Dolph.
Yeah, it's just like Dolph doesn't really help you like in a feud. He's not someone that's gonna help you get heat or anything, and like get like any kind of momentum because nobody's really invested in Dolph. So like that's the wrong kind of person to be in the feud with.
I think the last like notable feud he was in was over the Intercontinental belt with Miz a couple years ago. Yeah,
that's about it, man.
That was the apex there for him. Yeah, but it's all right though. It's okay. What else we get? Was it Elias up next?
Well, yeah, but before the segment ended, it was that Otis came in. He tried to confront him, and Dolph challenged Rhodes at ringside so he can see him beat up Otis.
Yeah. He said, "I'll fight you, but we're gonna do it in front of the whole world at WrestleMania, and my girl Mandy Rose is gonna be in my corner." Yeah. That's man, dude. Like, it's gonna be weird. That's one of those things where you really want to hear the audience. For the payoff, whether it's Mandy turning her back and staying with Dolph, or if she finally turns on Dolph and Otis gets the girl. You want to hear a live reaction to that. That's one where I'm gonna really miss the crowd. A lot of the other stuff I have faith in, including because they have the more cinematic approach, and they took a very simplistic take with Elias and Baron Corbin in the next segments.
I loved it. I thought it was very good, and I shit on Elias so much. I hate it with a freaking passion. He's Mike Ricochet. He adds nothing to the product, but his song was actually pretty good. And I like the setup because they were using the little like crow's nest thing that they have for NXT, and he was serenading the empty arena.
Yes.
The song itself was good. I like the fact that Corbin jumped in from behind, and they had a very Lion King moment
straight out of Lion King, man. Corbin hits Elias over the guardrail or the safety rail, and Elias kind of climbs his way back up, and they're not really selling how high up they are right away. And Elias climbs all the way back up, and Baron Corbin strikes him again, and there's a camera position under Elias, so when he falls by the camera and you don't see him impact. And then the next shot is an over-the-shoulder shot of Baron Corbin looking down, and Elias is laid out on concrete, and it appears he's fallen about 20 feet or plus,
Yeah.
And so it was a very cinematic approach, and it was awesome. That's you need to, like, if you can get away with not having an audience, you know what I mean, and you can do these things that a live audience would ruin, you should be doing them more, and. So I'm glad that's kudos to WWE because as much praise as we gave AEW thinking outside the box, this one WWE got a leg up on him, I think, and it was dope, man. And it was straight out of The Lion King. That was straight out of Scar tossing Mufasa off the cliff. It was straight out of that stuff, man.
And I want Impact Wrestling because that little cinematic stuff they've done that in the past.
Talk about Impact.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that they've done. Like, so at one point they had like a backstage match or whatever. It was like a deletion match, and Matt, at this point, he's broken. He's thrown off like the forklift, off like a top of a forklift, and falls down, cracks his head, and unbreaks himself. So he's like very. He's like very suburban dad-esque, and that's who he's becoming. He loses his mind, and they did a very similar stuff where you just see him falling down, and then they switch over and pan over to him on the floor with like his skull cracked open or something.
Yeah.
So they've done that. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Impact because that's something they've always been doing within the last couple of years. That's something they've always done, and this is really good. I liked it.
There you go. What do we have next, man?
Gosh. Okay. I love Asuka. Alexa Bliss is very, very good. These two are good in the ring together. Nikki Cross on commentary is the worst thing ever concocted on wrestling television ever. It sucked. It was terrible. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I love Nikki. She's so good. Like, dude, I was watching this and I couldn't focus on the match. I'm like, Nikki, stop. What are you doing? Like how cold I felt. Because he's like, what are you doing? What is that noise you're making with your hands? What are you doing? Like, my mind went to the gutter for a second. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is she doing on commentary? Until they showed what she was doing. I'm like, that's so weird, Nikki. What are you fucking doing? And I love Nikki Cross so much. I think she's very, very good. But her being paired up as Alexa's bestie, I feel it ruined her for me. And I am so over it. I would. If she goes and like gets buried in the NXT, I don't care. Like I don't want to see her have her on main event until she's done with this whole like Alexa bestie gimmick. I don't want to see it, man. I didn't care for the match. She took me out of the match.
Yeah, I'll say that the whole like unhinged character that she portrayed has been completely pulled away, and now we have this new. Not that it's new, because her and Alexa Bliss have been paired up for a long time, but I think a lot of people are holding on hope that we're going to get the, what was the faction?
Sanity?
Yeah, Sanity version of Nikki Cross. And it doesn't seem like that. It seems like we've pulled it back, and now Nikki Cross is the goofy best friend to the popular chick, whatever, and has no angst left. I don't think we've lost it forever. Like, I don't think that, like, because I believe wholeheartedly she'll go back to her other character once this run with Alexa Bliss is gone. It's just weird. It's honestly, this is a pairing that seemed like it was supposed to have a 3-week to month-long run at best, and here we are, what feels like a year later. With this, and so it is kind of odd. I didn't notice her on commentary that much, but then again, I wasn't even supposed to be on tonight's show, so I was kind of in my phone and watching the match a bit here and there, and it seemed like they were trying to get the whole heckle Michael Cole stuff going, but it didn't really work that well in my opinion. I believe, though, if you guys look in the top left corner or on the podcast version, if you've noticed, I think we lost Vince. I'm fairly certain. Other than that, or he is able to hold the stare for a very long time. But the match was decent, man. The match was good. It was fine. Let's see what else happened while we try to regain Vince. I apologize, folks. Like we said, the internet and everybody staying home, bandwidth has been rough for a lot of people. So we got Bailey here with her new haircut. Yeah, it is like super short. Looking at that. Let's take a look. We'll go to WWE's page and we'll take a look there. Because we've gone off the rails officially until Vince hops back on. Let's see here. So we got WWE. I'm on their official Twitter page. It's usually good. If you want to know the order of stuff, how it went, you can go here. Are you back?
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry. The whole Nikki Cross conversation just like annoyed me so much. I had to leave the. Couldn't talk about it for too long. It really like. Anyway, moving on. I can't keep going about that.
How'd the finish of the match go down again?
It was DDT from Alexa Bliss. She won with her standard DDT. I wasn't focusing too much on the actual in-ring stuff, what was happening, because again, it was just one of those things where like Nikki was just taking me out of the match and couldn't focus on what was actually happening. Before I knew it, there was a DDT by Alexa and 1, 2, 3.
Damn, so Alexa Bliss has a singles victory over Asuka now.
I think Alexa Bliss has a singles victory over everyone except Charlotte.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, because she's beaten Becky before. She's beaten her for the SmackDown Women's title. She's beaten Sasha before. She's beaten Bayley. She's beaten 3/4 out of the Horsewomen. She's beaten just about everyone there is to beat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's been booked very well.
What did we get after the match?
After this, we had the WrestleMania 32 replay we were talking about. So not much to talk there. It was just a replay. But afterwards,
my favorite thing about that match was actually Stephanie, like the intro, like the entrance that Stephanie cut. I think that's Stephanie's best promo to date. I do think so. When she introduced Triple H, no,
I didn't like it. I thought her voice was very raspy, and I didn't. It didn't come off with that well.
Well, they didn't show it. They didn't show all of it. Obviously, they didn't show the full entrance on the replay. The context of the speech was very, very good. I just thought that her delivery towards the end, I felt like she was like commanding like a skull army and everything.
Mm-hmm. I got where she was going with it. I thought it was good. I thought it was good though.
Yeah.
But afterwards, they cut to like a backstage interview with Triple H, and Michael Cole wants his insight on the match between Goldberg and Roman Reigns, which apparently is still happening. They haven't addressed the whole rumors that everybody knows.
Because it's pre-taped. Yeah,
because it's pre-taped.
I didn't even think about that.
So that's something I wrote down for the show is like, especially during the tag match, knowing what we know now. We could talk about it at the end of the show, but Triple H just asked, like, what do you think? You're one of the only people to step in the ring with Goldberg and Roman Reigns. What do you think? And the gist of his promo was saying that he's got Roman Reigns. If he can withstand the onslaught from Goldberg early on, the longer the match goes, it goes more in Roman Reigns' favor. Not only because Goldberg usually just has the initial burst of energy and then he gassed afterwards, but he's also said that Roman Reigns almost gets stronger or like gets better as the match goes along. It's like he's almost feeding off everything that you're dishing off of him, almost like a Dragon Ball Z character. That's the way I was. He was describing an anime character to me.
Well, newsflash, he has common sense. You know what I mean? Goldberg can't last in a match longer than 2 fucking minutes, at most, man.
But he also.
I mean, if you sidestep a spear, it almost guarantees concussion for Goldberg because he's gonna run head first into whatever's behind him. He's gonna eat that shit way too fucking hard.
Exactly. Yeah. But he also just made it seem like Roman just gets stronger in the match the longer it goes.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were trying to emphasize with the previous match.
Yeah, probably. And then after that, we cut to Dolph backstage talking with Sonya Deville. Mandy comes up and just basically tells Dolph, "I'm like, hey man, if you want to have this match with Otis, that's fine. But like, why do you got to keep bringing up the fact that like we're together? Why do you got to rub it in his face?" So she's starting to not like the way that Dolph is acting, and Dolph's like, "Well, he stood you up, so like he deserves it." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't. If you want to fight him because you don't like him or whatever, you want to have this fight, fine. But I don't want it to be like because you guys are fighting over me. I'm not some object for you guys to fight over." And then that's when she's like, "I won't be at ringside for your match."
See, I was glad that they addressed that because I was starting to. I wasn't gonna go like full White Knight, but I was starting to get this inclination like, it's 2020, and it looks like we're still getting a match where two men literally fight over a woman like she's a prize. And and it doesn't seem to fit in today's context. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm not going to sit here and trash it. I mean, I get it's an easy story, and and this all stuff is fictitious. But I was like, it does feel like we're beyond this. So it felt nice to see some continuity on Mandy Rose's end. Be like, hey, she addressed the obvious. Like, yeah, I'm not the prize in the match. You know what I mean? But it is weird that she's not going to be ringside. She'll be ringside. She'll come out. She'll come out.
I think she might come. She says she doesn't want to be ringside. I feel like you could do a segment where like Dolph sweet talks her. I'm like, come on, I want you there for like good luck or something.
No, I think what it'll be more or less, she won't be ringside, and Dolph will get the upper hand on Otis, and Otis will be put in a vulnerable position, and she might come out to support Otis. Possibly. I mean,
we'll see. I think you might be jumping the gun in terms of this story. I think there's still a little bit more to be told during this.
Man, I book with my heart, man, not my head. Okay, like I book everybody. All the good guys win. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, well, you say you book with your heart. So, would you have booked the Firefly Funhouse segment the way that they booked it?
With the protein shake.
Yeah, the protein shake. What you thought about that whole? I thought it was very good. They addressed and Abby, everybody in the Funhouse, they were addressing, like, what makes you think that you can beat John Cena now if you couldn't beat him then? And to start it off, it's the lantern of the old Bray Wyatt, the essence of the old Bray.
Yeah, dude, did you see that?
Yeah, that was so cool. I'm like, no, you be quiet. You had your chance. Now it's his turn.
So the dead Bray Wyatt is locked in the lantern. If that's the case, Bray, throw that shit in the furnace right now. Like fucking, like get rid of that.
Wait.
Please.
It might be like a Horcrux from like Harry Potter, and if you break it, you might just like actually just release it. You never know. You might just end up releasing it.
I don't know anything you just said, but okay.
So, like the way they were saying it was like. The essence of the old Bray Wyatt is in that lantern. So in my head, I'm thinking if you break it or destroy it, you release the essence of the old Bray Wyatt. So like it's almost like Bray is trapped in that lantern. It's using it to like contain him in there. I'm reading too much into it, This is just like some scripted wrestling show. But hey, man, times are tough right now, man. You try to make the most of the little you get on TV now.
No, I do like that. The Funhouse puppets were playing into his insecurities, and then also you saw essentially the Mr. Rogers character sweating, covering his ears, like shut up. Like you don't really see Bray look vulnerable in any of his promos now and stuff, and so you see a little bit of confliction. John Cena is obviously a huge deal on this list for the Fiend. If there's anybody that the Fiend needs to defeat, it's John Cena. Right. And so I'm all in. This is easily the match I'm looking forward to most for the show, by all means, yeah.
Which day, though? Because we don't know what day it might be. And
day one. It's going to be day one because I swear I hope day two the Fiend comes out and beats Goldberg. Fiend,
yes.
WrestleMania, it's... Okay, WrestleMania is going to fall on its face. What can we do? Well, we can use it to try and elevate one or two people to get them. We'll still try to make them stars because it's not going to be an overall extravaganza. No, like let's see if we can just salvage this shit to fix a couple errors that we've made in the past and fucking boom. Yeah, Fiend beats John Cena. The story goes into the next night. Who will face Goldberg? Out comes Fiend for the rematch. I do get the glaring issue, though, is what we were all saying. We shouldn't have the belt on the Fiend. Like, I get it. But the Fiend is all about revenge. And now you've wrote a reason for him to get revenge on fucking Goldberg. So, I don't know. It's not going to be that. It's going to be Braun. It's going to be Braun.
Going back to the Funhouse segment is that he was saying that this time out, he has the recipe to beat John Cena. And I love, like, I remember, I didn't write down exactly what the ingredients that he was putting into his shake, but it was fucking hilarious. And at the end, Rambling Rabbit comes out. He's like, he starts talking, giving his opinion. I'm like, Perfect. That's exactly what I was missing. Unnecessary opinions.
Yeah.
And then he tosses him in there. Poor rambling rabbit dies. And but we've realized that he comes back to
He's
life.
the
He'll be
Kenny.
fine.
He's the Kenny of like
And
from
I
South
love that.
Park. Yeah.
Yes, he's Kenny from South Park. I thought that was great. And he wraps this whole Firefly Funhouse segment by challenging John Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania. And I really, really, really hope this is a mixture between the Ultimate Deletion that he had with Matt Hardy and the House of Horrors match that he had with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
It has to be the good stuff from all of that. A lot of people hated House of Horrors. I loved that match. I thought it was great.
Man, I'm all about the silly. Go ahead and bring me silly shit. I'll fucking watch it, man. I'm good.
And after that, we just had the main event. The number one contender is Usos versus New Day match. I do want to talk about the status of WrestleMania at the end of the show because I want to save it after this match without like giving away this stuff. But if you want, we can talk about like the status given the rumors and reports that we.
Yeah, no, we can. Yeah, we'll touch on that. I mean, really quick. This was. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just mostly just saying so we could do that. So like, if anybody doesn't want the spoilers or whatever, they can just shut this off. Like once we're done recapping the main event, and then we can go into spoiler territory.
Okay, yeah, we'll give them a warning when we're about to bust out some spoilers.
Yeah, for
sure. And we're not going to spoil any results of matches. Just breaking news. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, if you don't watch the wrestling news, and somehow you still watch the podcast, then yeah, we'll let you know. Because it'll probably be addressed next week, hopefully. Maybe. Yeah. But we had a slam bang match, like always, between the Usos and the New Day. You don't really need much story. There's not really too much story to tell. You had Miz and Morrison on commentary, heckling the shit out of both tag teams in the ring. But I mean, when you put the New Day and the Usos.
You're thinking of Maria Menounos. That's what you got Menounos on the mind.
Hey, man. Fuck.
When you put the New Day and the Usos in the ring together.
No, I paused too long. I was trying to come up with a joke, but it fucking fleeted. Anyways, when you put these guys in a match together, it's always going to be good. And unfortunately, there's not much storytelling when you put them up right now. The story of this is just going for the number one contendership for WrestleMania. But so this match goes on. And just when it's starting to crescendo, the brawl spills to the outside. Miz and Morrison get involved. Everybody's fighting. You get a DQ. Poor Michael Cole has to do like double duty. So Michael Cole, in the midst of the whole brawl and DQ finish, announces that Miz and Morrison won't have to defend their championship match against the New Day or the Usos. They'll, in fact, defend it in a triple threat tag team ladder match.
Wait, they say ladder match?
Yes, ladder match.
Oh, that I didn't know. I just wrote down triple threat.
Yeah, triple threat ladder match.
Oh, that's gonna be so dope.
Yep. And then the show goes off the air with I think like Morrison getting super kicked by the Usos and Miz getting the midnight hour.
Yeah. So Usos and New Day stand tall. One thing to know is that like you were feeling bad for Michael Cole, but come on, man, he's used to this. He used to have to like listen to the anonymous Raw general manager. At least he doesn't have to hear the annoying notification. So he's used to this. And plus, one thing I was gonna add to this whole thing is like, one, did you notice that this time the New Day's gear was slowly being colored in? Because like they're trying to sell like New Day coloring pages or coloring books or something.
Oh shit! No, I didn't even realize.
So the gear was all white at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
and it's the same. And then during their like promo early on in the show, they were all white, and then they came out, and some of the gear was colored in like blue and pink. And then like I think slowly every week it's gonna be slowly colored in until they finally get to WrestleMania and it's fully colored.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's one thing I noticed. And two, I felt like this was going to be the result of this match the minute they announced this number one contenders match. I knew they was going to end in a DQ, and they were going to end up doing the triple threat because New Day hasn't done enough to warrant a singles match, and New Day and Usos sure as hell haven't done enough to warrant a singles match. So yeah, that was the whole thing. Is that I felt that there was a foregone conclusion. We were going to get that triple threat match no matter what.
And not to mention, you can't have either team beat the other side clean when the belts aren't on the line. You know what I mean? At this point, these guys should have a non-finish anytime they face off. And I'm referring to the Usos and New Day,
Yeah.
until their belts on the line, because it's too big of a matchup. It's too big of a matchup to throw away for just any other match at this point. Like they need high stakes anytime they meet up in the ring. So yeah, I agree with you completely. I believed it was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's the show. Hey, we're gonna dive into some spoiler territory. Not spoilers for the matches, but there has been reports coming out of
wrestlers in and out. Of
wrestlers, various wrestlers that are pulling out of WrestleMania, and it may have affected some of the stuff that you've watched tonight. We already ruined one for Roman Reigns, obviously. Roman Reigns is reported out of the match. But there's more that might be affecting. So if you don't want any spoilers, maybe going into next week's SmackDown, go ahead and probably just turn off the video now, because we'll probably be wrapping this up anyways, like immediately after we do some speculation on how some of this stuff will resolve. And if that's the case, man, thank y'all for joining us. But getting into it now, spoilers. Miz is out. Miz is out of the
So
match.
he just decided to, for the same reason that Roman, right? He just decided, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to protect my family, whatever.
He got two babies, man. He got two babies
Yeah.
he got to look after. I can.
Yeah, I get that. So that's the thing about this match is, so this match got ruined because that was one thing that was really hard throughout this episode, was like knowing full well that this match has no meaning because the match is probably not happening anymore. And then the Roman build was like, man, they're supposed to like be in the arena next week, but we know this match isn't happening because Roman pulled out because his autoimmune system is going to be compromised because of his leukemia, and he just wasn't comfortable doing any more of these performance center shows. So kudos to both guys for saying, fuck this, my life, my health, and my family's health is way more important than this half-ass WrestleMania that we're going to cook up. And it's bigger than wrestling. This whole thing, like, your health is bigger than wrestling. And so, especially after watching that Dark Side of the Ring Chris Benoit documentary, where we saw the negative results of saying, well, I'm going to keep working through injuries. What happened with Chris and Eddie, you know, they both died young. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Roman or Miz or anybody.
But you don't want to repeat the same mistakes.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's my main thing, is the health and concern for these wrestlers. Like, dude, like, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, just no show. Especially Roman, dude. What are they gonna do? They're gonna fire him? They're gonna fine him? No,
no. They just Roman's got he may have an autoimmune deficiency with illness, but he doesn't have that issue with WWE. He's untouchable with the booking crew with them. Quick question though: what do you do with the SmackDown tag title scene? Do you scrap it all together, or do you rebook it? I say you go forward. New Day, Usos, ladder match for #1 contendership.
I say they do this. If John Morrison is still available, make it where Morrison has to go in there by himself, and they write Miz off storyline wise, saying that he got attacked or like something happened to Miz, and they have to do that instead.
Okay.
They might address it next week on SmackDown. That match might be addressed, or they might just scrap it altogether and move it to a later date. I think they'll
address it.
They should address it. The issue, though, is looking at the other tag team title match that just got made on Monday. It's already scrapped. Andrade got injured in his tag match against Cedric and Ricochet, so he's out of that match. And they had to, so they didn't scrap the match. They just went ahead and just replaced them.
What the fuck is going on? It's got to be what Vince is feeling, man. Like,
yeah,
it's like just
so okay.
Fucking just crawl through the finish line, folks. Like, people are dropping, and I am by no means am I actually frustrated with WrestleMania. I know it's getting a lot of flack. I'm actually appreciative because in a real sense, we're going through a bummer of a time right now. And first and foremost, this time is temporary. It's gonna pass. We're gonna
exactly.
We're gonna get back to a normal life. hopefully better after this is all said and done. But right now we're going through a bummer, and I'm appreciative of any little bit of pro wrestling I get to kind of just be a temporary escape while we're going through this bummer. So I'm happy with it. But at the same time, I could imagine Vince McMahon just oh my God, just left and right these matches that just dropping, man.
He didn't have to make that Raw Tag Title match.
No,
he made it, announced it, and it's got scrapped.
It's just been scrapped.
Do you feel like the Otis Dolph Ziggler stuff, the match being challenged, that was like on the spot? That's something they filmed like last minute, and they had it just in case they had to drop a match or two, and that would be like a backup match?
I don't know. I think right now you gauge Twitter. Like, I think Twitter is the benchmark to find out what's like these matches that people are interested in. And I think that the brass in WWE may have not realized how much people care about Otis. And then I bet they hop on Twitter because it's the same shit. I mean, if you need proof, look at that initial SmackDown episode with Triple H. He was only supposed to be out there for the initial match. They hopped on Facebook, saw the positive reaction, was like, oh, we need to run with this. I can see that being the same case for Otis's stuff with Dolph Ziggler. They probably didn't have that much stock invested in it, but then they go, so anytime Otis is on TV, Twitter's fucking blowing up because they love the guy.
So then, let me ask you this: do you think the Baron Corbin Elias segment was a way to write that match off a storyline so that they wouldn't have it because everybody was shitting on the match?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's good.
That's the first thing that came to mind because even Michael Cole is like, "We'll keep you updated on the status status for the match." So that could have been something. So you could do that at a later show and further that storyline, and don't put it on WrestleMania. People are gonna shit on it.
That's true. No, very good point. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
The big elephant in the room, like you were saying, is Roman Reigns being gone. Like I think Vince McMahon doesn't care about these other matches so long as his title matches, his big marquee matches aren't affected. And now that Roman's out, I think that's the one where he's like, God damn it.
Yes, I love Roman, but I'm granted now I'm excited. Like one part of me is excited. I'm gonna have a WrestleMania that doesn't close with Roman because he's been on like 5 and closed damn near all of them. But on the other hand, we still have Goldberg, and I'm like, fuck, I'd rather have Roman than Goldberg. Why couldn't Goldberg be like, hey, listen, I'm part of that old man demographic. I shouldn't be risking this. And Goldberg pulls out.
Let me bring something up here. Remember when they were supposed to have that Shield reunion match at TLC? And they called an audible and replaced Roman, was it, with Kurt Angle, and he was an honorary member of the Shield.
Yeah, because everyone got the mumps or something.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be Sister Abigail Bray Wyatt versus Pumpkin Balor, and then it turned out to be Demon Balor versus AJ Styles, and they called an audible.
Yeah,
I feel like this might be a great thing for the Universal title. They're either gonna put it on someone like Bray. I know you were saying, like, I'll let you go into it.
Braun, go get speared. Just like, go get speared and try to talk Goldberg out of jackhammering you in the ring because he's probably going to drop you on your head. Like, but no, Braun is going out there, lamb to the slaughter. I am 97% confident in this.
If Braun does end up being the replacement in this Roman Goldberg match, it has to be storyline driven. You have to shoot something where, like, you don't even have to have Roman there. You could just have like a stunt double there for Roman, just have him face down or something, and make it like, well, like someone attacked Roman Reigns backstage, and have Braun Strowman be the motivator. I saw someone tweet saying, "I will never be finished with you," as the tagline, or like the thing that he yells at Roman for the reason why he.
Oh wow, that'd be dope. That'd be cool. Turn Braun heel, because right now public opinion is not good on the fella.
Oh, I hate Braun Strowman right now.
Yeah,
can't stand. He's basically Big Show, but without the charm and appeal of,
he's like Big Show.
Being Big Show.
Yeah. You know who I would love it to be, but in a kayfabe sense and unfortunately brand sense, doesn't work. Fucking returning Samoa Joe. That would be awesome. Have him go out there and hoss it up with Goldberg if they did it right. If it was done right.
Honestly, they're very limited in terms of who they can pick. It's either Braun Strowman or it's going to be The Fiend. taking care of John Cena night one. And this is one situation where having it split up between 2 days really helps them out because they did this in New Japan. So
Yeah.
they had it where like the IC title match and then the world title match and then the winners of those matches faced off to be crowned the double champion.
And Jushin Liger wrestled both nights too. He had his retirement match on the second night.
Exactly. So they could still do something, especially given that obviously John Cena is going to accept this Firefly Funhouse match. I think that's going to be very, very good. It's going to lend to itself to be probably the best match on the show, unless it's Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. And then you could just have Fiend like do something where like he attacked Roman, and he's like, "Oh, like I didn't," and address why he never went after Goldberg immediately after losing the title and instead went for Cena. He could just tell the narrative that like Cena's someone I wanted to target, but he's never around, and I had to take advantage of the opportunity that he was there, and I knew that Goldberg was going to be around later on because he's the champion, so he has to come back. You don't know when Cena's coming back, so I want to get my revenge for that first. I want to target him, finish that unfinished business, and then I'm going to go and get my title back. And the way that they should do it, I saw this again, taking it off of Twitter, to right the wrongs of what happened at Super Showdown. Beat Goldberg the same way that the Fiend lost in quick fashion. Have the Fiend come out there and be like, "Oh, I dropped the title so I can go ahead and do something with Cena in the meantime, but I was always going to come back." Basically make it seem like he let him win, which is always something that I thought in the back of my mind. How I justified it was I let Goldberg win because I wanted to go after Cena first.
It's nice.
I don't know.
Book it.
But yeah, that's my prediction. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Fiend go twice. And I mean, do you want to talk about do you know who replaced Andrade in the Raw Tag Title match?
No, I don't actually. So
the match went through, and they ended up having Austin Theory be the guy from NXT. So I knew it was an NXT guy. Then I'm like, I'll just check who it was. It was Austin Theory. The minute I knew that they still had the match, but they replaced it with an NXT guy, I knew that Angel Garza wasn't going to get that.
No gold for Garza yet, man. But I will say this: with your internet crapping out, it's probably a good time to end the show, folks. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, Vince will pop back here in a moment to say bye to you guys. But if not, I'll let you all know. Follow us on Twitter at SmackDrawPod, myself at The Kai Tai Show. Frozen Vince up there at SES Vince. And make sure to tune in, man. We tune in Sunday. This is huge now. We are doing March Madness on Sunday. We are going to take 16 guys from AEW, 16 guys from NXT, 16 from SmackDown, 16 from Raw, and Vince, RN, and then a special guest from the Smackin' It Raw podcast. I think his name is Matt. Will be debating on this bracket of who ultimately will be the best wrestler after this is all said and done. I'm going to go ahead and host the show. It's going to be a ton of fun, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. When we have no sports on TV, it'll be cool to catch an actual somewhat of a tournament. So that'll be fun. Make sure to tune in. And that's going down Sunday. We'll be shooting it live. And then I think we're going to maybe break it up into 2 parts for YouTube because it might run a little long. Maybe like back when SmackDraw podcast first started and we'd run like 2 to 3 hours. Jesus, I don't know how we filled that time back then. But yeah, make sure to tune in, catch that. And then also, staying on Vince over here, he will be watching Cats here in the next, I don't know, probably get him to watch it by Sunday. He's on lockdown. He's got nothing better to do. So we'll get him to watch Cats. And we'll see if we can talk him into a live reaction. And then, of course, we'll post a little review, have him talk about how wonderful that was. Oh, yeah, he's officially gone. The YouTube video looks all messed up now. Let's see here. But thank you all once again for joining us. Until next time, y'all have a good one.